Welcome, everybody. I've got Patrick here with me. I'm going to go ahead and get this set to sharing to Facebook while we wait for everyone to come in. But while that's happening, let us know in the chat, where are you guys coming from? Where in the country are you? Chat is disabled. Let's see what we can do to fix that real quick. Chat should be working now, everybody. Awesome. Patrick, we are live on Facebook now. We're recording, so I'm going to say let's go ahead and get started. We've got some people from New York, Michigan, the Carolinas, Dallas, Washington. We've got a little bit of the whole country here with us today. Everyone, my name is Jordan. I'm with zBuyer. I've got Patrick here with me. Patrick, I'm not even going to try and introduce him. I'm going to hand it off to you because I know you're a man of many hats and many things. So tell us, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, guys, very excited to be here. My name is Patrick Keller. I am a real estate broker in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm also a real estate and sales coach with Hatch Coaching, coaching people all across the country on how to build teams, how to do more production, how to sell more homes, and how to live bigger lives. And so that is what I do. Those are my two main passions. I love what I do. I've got a wife, Amanda. I have two little kiddos, Declan and Elsie. And for my real estate world, I have a micro team. The micro team model is something that we teach Hatch Coaching very frequently. But it's me. It's two partner agents, one who helps me show homes to my clients, another who does listing coordination for me. We have two really new to the team, team agents. And then we have an ISA who's new to our team as well. And then two admin, a transaction coordinator and an office admin. This little micro team last year, we sold 194 homes at about 60 million in volume, almost 2 million in gross commission income. So we are little, we're small, but we are mighty. I started in real estate back in 2014. I was a registered nurse beforehand. And then I actually grew a brokerage to over 30 people. So if you guys ever are interested in attracting a lot of people into your brokerage, we definitely know how to do that. But we went into the micro team model and believe in that today. It's very profitable. It's very productive when you are laser focused on a smaller group of folks, in my opinion, to do a lot of production versus a really large group of folks to do little production. So that is who I am. And I am here today with Jordan and zBuyer. We use zBuyer for our buyer and seller leads, have closed deals through zBuyer and enjoy having them. Our cost per close is really manageable with zBuyer, and through hard work, just like any other lead source, we're able to close deals. So love working with zBuyer. And so today zBuyer asked how to generate leads with our listings. Out of those 195 deals that we did just last year, about 60% of those were listings for me. And so a small majority of our business was from listings. And so I'm really happy today to kind of talk about how we generate leads. Some of the things that I'm going to share with you today are old school, and we still do them today. And some of the things that I'm going to tell you are utilizing tech to get leads and obviously turn what used to be sign calls into actual online leads that we can drip on and have action plans and campaigns for. So excited to start. I will tell you guys that there are going to be, Jordan, do I have the ability to share my screen?
Go ahead and try. You should be able to.
Okay. It looks like I can. Perfect. I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys here in a little bit. There's going to be 3 or 4 PDFs that I'm absolutely happy to share. Jordan has a link that he's going to share with you guys so that you can download those PDFs at the end of this or during. You just put your email in and we'll be able to send the PDFs for you. So I'm going to give you everything that we do here in our team to generate leads. Let's talk about the old school stuff first, okay? Believe it or not, in real estate, especially when our sales activity has dropped over the last several months, we got to go back to the basics. And we've been doing the basics for a really long time in our team, and it works. The first thing that we do around our listings, and we even promise our sellers that we do this, is we actually do circle phone prospecting around our listings. We do just listed calls and we do just sold calls. The script for those that we use, I have in a PDF, but what we use is Mojo Dialer. We've used the RedX before to do these just sold calls, and we call the 100 or 150 closest neighbors to our listings, and we have conversations. So I'd like to tell you guys really quickly how we do our just sold calls and what we say. I have a flow chart that we train all of our agents here in my team to use. So guys, the premise is after you get a home under contract, you have a huge opportunity to educate that neighborhood and that community what happened with that listing, how quickly it sold, what it sold for, what kind of activity, what it looked like, the specs of the home, and how it compares to their home. What's really great, guys, is that when you have a listing, especially in a neighborhood, the folks have seen your sign. If your face is on the sign, they've seen your face. And if you can take the effort to make these phone calls to the neighborhood, the connection that you can make with these people after the sign's been in the yard for a week or two, or maybe even several weeks, and the house gets under contract, it's a great connection. They can put a face with the voice, and the interaction on the phone is generally gentle, okay? So what we do after we sell a home is we do this exact flow chart in a conversation. Really simple. Hey, my name's Patrick. Is this George? One of the things I always like to throw in here is, hey, I know I'm calling you completely out of the blue. Sometimes you get phone calls from real estate agents and it's really annoying. I'm calling you in a different way today. I'm not asking you to sell your home. I'm here to educate you, okay? So I'm a local realtor right here in your community, just sold your neighbor's home down the street. Can I tell you, like what it sold for and how quickly? Are you interested in that information? Well, in this flow chart that we build out, sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. If they say yes, you quickly just share the specifics of the sale, right? So, hey, it's sold 123 Main Street. It sold for $260,000. It sold in 4 days. It was 1,700 square feet. I see your home is about the same. So that's a good barometer of maybe where yours would be. And then you follow this arrow along, and then you just ask them, hey, would you care to know what your house is worth on the market? And then these folks will say yes or no. If they say yes, we go immediately into figuring out, what their motivation is, why they're considering what their home is worth on the market, what their plans might be if they were to move, all of those things. And then obviously we're going towards a listing appointment or some kind of nurture campaign based upon their response. If they tell us, no, we're not done, the last thing that we can offer them is a market update. And it comes through our CRM, Sierra Interactive, which I'll talk to you guys about here in just a little bit. That sends them an email once a month that just says, hey, this is what homes are selling for in your neighborhood. And we would love to set you up on that. Is that something that you would like? Can I get your best email? So you really, have 3 opportunities to capture a nurture or a drip with any of these contacts. And again, I promise you that because you were there in that neighborhood, because your sign was present, you will have good conversations with these people. And I've given you the script and the flow chart to follow for those just sold phone calls. We make those, and those are my favorite types of phone calls to make. We also do just listed phone calls, very similar. So right when the sign goes in the yard, everybody in the neighborhood starts talking. It's time to start calling that neighborhood to tell them about what it's listed for. I can't tell you how many times we've had listing consultations and appointment from these phone calls.
I've got a question for you, Patrick.
Yeah,
In Sierra, are you tracking when you made these calls? So say you sold one and then, 2 weeks later, you sell another property. Whenever you call that person back the next time, are you referencing now this is the second home we've sold in your area in 2 weeks?
absolutely. And so we do these calls, the just sold phone calls we do through Mojo Dialer
Uh-huh.
because we can get a geographical
Yep.
data from Mojo Dialer. But yeah, if we are starting to dominate a neighborhood, you better believe we call a second time when we sell that second home, or maybe even a third home, because then we just become the household name. Hey, I'm calling again. I just wanted
Yep.
to tell you we sold your other neighbors down the street home. And people start to recognize the call and they start to know that we're calling again because their homes are being sold in their neighborhood. So
Absolutely.
really, really great conversation to have with people. Come from an education standpoint. If y'all are going to try this, you're going to get an objection one time and they're going to say, well, I'm not interested in selling my home. And they're going to say that immediately. And one of the biggest things we say is, hey, I'm not asking you to sell your home. I want to be an educational resource. I want to be a real estate Google here in the community. So I just like to call the neighbors and educate them on what they're selling for. Typically speaking, if you own a home, you're interested in what your home is worth. So
Yep.
I was just letting you know what that looked like. And so people enjoy that information and you're able to get good contact information and potentially listing appointments through it.
The first time you call me, I might not want to know what my home's worth. The second time, I'm really going to be curious. And if you call me a third time, I'm going to say, okay, just show up. Tell me what it's worth. I'm curious now. You keep selling all my neighbors' houses. What's mine worth?
Yeah. And like, what's your magic sauce, right? So like, why are you getting so many listings? Why are you so good? They
Yeah,
think if they don't hire you, they're missing out on the neighborhood expert. And
absolutely.
if somebody tells you no, guys, that's why we use this flow chart, is that if they say no, a lot of people are okay with a once a month email just telling them about what their home is worth.
Yeah.
And we throw in things like, listen, we're not going to spam you. We promise you we're going to send it once a month. And we tell them that over the phone, and it kind of lets their guard down. Just like I said, in the beginning, if you just tell them, hey, I know I'm calling you out of the blue. You get a lot of calls right now. I'm a real person right here in this community, and this is why I'm calling. Kind of
Yeah.
extinguish the sales aversion. That is one great way to get listing leads from leads and leveraging your listings. By the way, if you guys are in a team, call around your team members' souls. If your team member sells a home and they're not making these calls, ask them for permission to call around their listings that they just sold. If you don't have a whole lot of listings right now, to do the same thing. Second thing that we do, new and old school, is coming soon listings. So in our market, coming soon listings are no longer as allowed as they were. I have coaching clients. I just got off the phone with them. I have coaching clients in Pennsylvania. They're allowed to advertise a coming soon listing for 24 days. We're only allowed to advertise a coming soon listing for 24 hours. But coming soon listings are absolutely cash when it comes to generating leads. Okay, it's very important that if you have an email database and you have a listing coming soon, to take in one exterior image of that property, mention that you have a property in this community on this street, leave out some details, like leave out price, leave out details like the exact street number, and just say, hey, if you're interested in a home in this price range and in this community, I have one coming soon, please reach out to me. And email that to your whole database or your whole sphere of influence whenever you have the opportunity to do it coming soon. Also, put that on your Facebook. Say, hey, does anybody know anybody who's interested in a property in this community? Here's a picture of the front of the house. Here are the general specs of the home. Definitely reach out to me. Send me a private message if you're interested. It's crazy how much action and activity I got back in the day when we could do a coming soon for 2 weeks in our marketplace. We would get a lot of free, no-cost leads from people right through Facebook or right through our email campaign saying, hey, I am interested. And it's because they're looking for an off-market opportunity. They're looking for an opportunity before anybody else has it. So absolutely do coming soons however your board allows it. The third thing I would tell you to generate listing leads, and guys, I'm going to send you this list too if you want to get on that site that Jordan provided, or if you go to meetpk.co and just reach out to me, I'll send you all this. The third thing that we do that is kind of old school is we do mail campaigns, but not in the way that you think. So if you work for a larger brokerage or you have this technology at your brokerage, it's very common to be able to just like do a postcard mailer through your brokerage, right? Where you kind of click a button and it's a just sold postcard. Guys, I believe in my bones that you have to do those very consistently and at a huge consistent level, and sometimes even a huge dollar level to make those turn. Occasionally you get lucky, right? You send one of those out and you get a phone call, but it takes a lot of mailers and postcards to get action. So what we do is we do handwritten letters in our office, but not in the way that you think. We make them easy. And I'll show you guys what they look like. So whenever we sell a home, we write this letter here, and I'll provide this to you guys as well. We write this letter, we put our name in it. We tell them that we're a real estate broker right here in the, you see it's blank. All I gotta do is take a black pen and put that neighborhood. And then I'm writing you this letter to let you know I just sold your neighbor's house on blank. And I take a black pen and I write the street in there. I put what it sold for, and I tell them it's sold in this many days. We tell them if they're interested in a market analysis or they're planning to make a move, tell them to call, text, email me. We have all of our information on the bottom, and we tell them that we're ready to find them a ready, willing, and capable buyer. We copy these and then print them in scale. So it looks like they are in handwriting, right? You guys can hire a company to do robotic handwriting. It just costs a little bit more. I have an admin that helps me stuff these, and we'll send them to the 100 closest neighbors to this property. We put them in envelopes, and guys, this is one little trick. We got a stamp off of Amazon that says open immediately, and on the front of the envelope we stamp the front of the envelope says open immediately. And guys, people are opening our mail because they, one, are not postcards, and two, they're coming from a local place that they recognize. So it's just taking things one extra step. It's being intentional, and we get calls from these letters. Another really creative way to do letters is a lost offer letter. So if you guys are in a market where you're still getting multiple offers on your listings, you can write a letter to the 100 nearest neighbors and tell them about the offers that were didn't win. These were the offers that didn't win on my listing. And so that tells me that there are buyers that are in this neighborhood still today. This is what these offers look like. If you're interested in one of these offers, I can reach out to my buyer or the other buyer's agent and see if they'd be interested.
And now these are the same people that first step you're also calling and talking to over the phone. So you're calling, talking to them a few days later. Now they're getting letters in the mail from you. So they keep remembering Patrick Keller. He's the realtor in the area. He wanted to give me the free home value.
Absolutely. You're just it is old school farming at its best,
yeah,
but doing it in ways that is efficient and as efficient as possible. And it works. Doing the work works, guys. All right, let's talk about some technology now, some new school. So guys, what we do is we generate a lot of online leads through our listings, okay? We generate what are called tracking links for all of our listings. We use Sierra Interactive as our CRM. If you guys are interested in Sierra Interactive or how we use it, you guys definitely can reach out to me and I'd tell you why we use Sierra Interactive personally for our CRM. But every single time we have a listing, we push our listing link out to not only our database, but also social media at a large scale. And we'll even run ads behind it. So if you guys haven't ran Facebook ads before, it's actually a pretty simple concept. You can post something on your business page. You can either boost the post, which isn't ideal, or run an ad through Ads Manager and just say, hey, I want to target everybody in my town plus or minus 15 miles. And I want to target people that have been on Zillow or that are homeowners or have interest in home ownership. And then you send this, hey, just listed property out to the marketplace. And you put the link in there, you put some blurb about the home and small, sweet, succinct description, and then put your tracking link. The tracking links look like this through Sierra. There's a lot of different places that do it, but we choose to use Sierra. The tracking links look like this in Sierra. and it's Facebook branded. So this is a picture of a listing. And what happens is they click on that tracking link, and they have the ability just to continue right through Facebook. So as you guys know, we all love Facebook. And for the most part, our correct email and usually absolutely our correct phone number is in Facebook leads, because a lot of people use Facebook Messenger, and Facebook Messenger is tied to their cell phone numbers. And so we love this tracking link tool because people generally just click on continue through Facebook, and then they have one more prompt just to give Sierra permission to use Facebook's information about that lead. It automatically fills the information with the lead, and then the lead is able to get the information about the property, and we get a lead on the back end. So it's a great opportunity to dump accurate or mostly accurate information into our CRM of a buyer lead that could be or could not be interested in our listing, but is absolutely interested in the real estate market at the time. So make sure that you can run a $50 ad and get 6, 7, 8,000 impressions in $50 in 3 to 5 days. And out of those impressions, maybe 1 to 2% of them will click. And then after 1 or 2% of them click, another 1 or 2% of those people will click on your continue with Facebook link. So just one tracking link could generate, maybe 3 to 7 leads for $50. It's not a bad deal. You could also just put this out to your own personal Facebook page and just have people in your sphere click on this for free. So it's a really good opportunity to create online leads through listings.
2 questions real quick, Patrick.
Yeah.
One from Tony, does Mojo Dialer get you the geo phone numbers?
Yeah, you can pay to do a small upgrade to the Mojo Dialer to get geo, they call it geo leads. And you can literally draw a picture around a neighborhood and say, get leads, and it'll pull the phone numbers associated with those properties. And it pulls emails too. The emails we haven't found are always accurate, but sometimes they are. If somebody has AT&T or something, they'll get an AT&T email, and some people use those.
Okay. Follow up on Mojo. Do they scrub the DNC list?
They do. Yes, they do. And you have the ability not to call the do not call list.
Very cool. And then 3rd question, the link that we've got to your pages, someone said it's not working to download the PDF. So you're going to send that after they fill out the information there. Is that right?
Absolutely. If they just hook us up with their email and their name and click get started, we should be able to get them over that list.
Awesome.
Yeah. If it's not working, you guys can always just email me or reach out to my meetpk.co site. We'll get them to you for sure. We'll find a way. All right. So next, I got a few more minutes. I want to make sure that you guys get a lot of value out of this. You can also look into leadpages.net. We use this for a lot of different reasons, but if you went to leadpages.net, you don't have a CRM or you don't have a front-facing website, but you wanted to spend a few dollars a month to create your own lead pages, you can actually create a listing page in leadpages.net that does the same thing, where you say, hey, get more information about this listing, and then you have the ability to pull up a drop down where they have their name, their email, and their phone number, and then you'll be able to get their information and provide them that listing information. A couple more things. Any questions I need to hit real quick?
Nothing else right now.
Okay. Guys, back to basics again, open houses. Here's why open houses are working today. If you think about the last 2 or 3 years, there were so many buyers that were flooding the market. There were so many people that were interested just because interest rates were low. There were so many people that qualified for loans that may not now. And so open houses were very, very busy back in that market, but they were also busy with a lot of people that couldn't actually close on a home. And so what I'm telling my team today, and I'm telling all my coaching clients across the country, is get back into open houses if you are not doing them, because if there is a buyer that is getting off of their rear end and they are driving to an open house today, there is a lot of intent in that, right? I mean, these are people who are okay with 6 or 6.5% interest rates when they were 3.5% just a year ago. These are highly intentional buyers. And so even if your open houses only get 5 to 6 people that walk in versus 35, These 5 or 6 people are very intentional. And one tip that I have on open houses, and I coach on this all the time, is that please, 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 please do not push people to a sign-in sheet over at the table here. Okay, I hear it all the time. I ask my coaching clients, I ask my team all the time, like, how did you guys do your open house? Well, somebody walked in the door and I said, hey, my name's Patrick. Here's my business card. Hey, there's a sign-in sheet over there. The seller requires it. Or they'll say, if you don't want to sign in, you don't have to, but please go over to my sign-in sheet, sign in, and then grab a cookie and a water, and I'll be following you around. That doesn't work. You know why it doesn't work? It's because everybody's doing it. And buyers know how to dodge the sign-up sheet now. They also know even if they do sign in, they'll tell you that they have a realtor on the sign-in sheet. And so they're dodging you. What you should do when somebody walks in is you should treat that like a buyer consultation immediately. And I know that sounds uncomfortable, but guys, people in this market right now are looking at us as agents to literally like grab them by the arm and be like, hey, this is how you achieve success in this market today. And so when they walk in, you say, hey, where did you hear about the open house? If they say, hey, I saw the sign, I just pulled in, that's likely a looky-loo. But if they said, hey, we've been looking online, or we saw it online, that's somebody that's been researching our market. This is somebody that you need to focus in on. So ask them, just like you would any other buyer consultation, where are you looking? Where are you from? Do you currently own a home? What's your price point? What's your motivation? You talk about money at the end. Have you guys talked about mortgage or any of those things? And you just start helping them. You start giving them solutions. You bring them over to the table. You set them up on a safe search there. You put their information in and you just say, hey, I'm going to help you go tackle this. And after you've done all that, you say, hey, go check out the house. And the people that are really intentional, and if you're really good at being an educator in this market, they're going to sit with you for 5 to 7 minutes. And you know what we've seen when we do this is that the other couple that's walking around, that's also very intentional about the market, they're not walking out the door. They're like standing over in the corner and they're waiting for you to do that with them because somebody hasn't given them all the advice that you're getting ready to give them. So be a go-giver in your open houses. Just give them advice, ask them questions, give them advice, and ask them questions. And then the last thing I would tell you is signage matters. So again, back to basics. Signage does matter. Answer your call or answer your phone when it rings when you have listings. Okay, sign calls are the best leads you possibly could get. There's other solutions like Agent Buzz or Agent Text that you guys could Google that provides sign writers that people can short text, like a short text code to, and then they get information about that listing and you get leads. And they're very inexpensive ways to do that. You can create your own if you have a CRM through a company like Easy Text, where you just create your own short text link on top of your listings. When somebody texts it, it gets dumped as a lead into your CRM and you can service it. Signs matter. Make sure your call to action on your signs is clear and evident. Your number is clear and evident. I can't tell you, out of the 195 deals we did last year, sign calls probably equated to about 7 or 8 of those, which isn't a large percentage. But from a commission standpoint, we're talking about $70,000 or $80,000 that we made in commissions just from people calling our signs, not even counting the ones that register as leads. I'm talking about direct phone calls. So signage is very important, and it's the basics that matter.
That's awesome. That's a very intentful phone call. If someone sees a sign, they want to talk to a realtor and they're calling you, that's a strong lead.
Absolutely. Okay. And I would encourage you guys, if you guys are on teams, talk to your team leader if your sign does not clearly delineate who to talk to. I've seen very busy signs that have all kinds of phone numbers and this person's name on this person's team, and that does create confusion. Talk to your team leader if your signs are kind of confusing to see if you could put a very clear and defined intentional rider or a very clear and defined yard sign right next to it that would direct people on how to get a hold of the person who knows the most about the listing so that you can serve them the best.
Awesome. We've gone over a lot, Patrick. So
yeah.
Number 1, you're calling. Just sold, just listed, you're calling. Number 2, what was that? Help me out here.
Yeah, number 2, we did coming soons. So take advantage of coming soons.
After that, yeah.
Yeah, number 3, we do mail campaigns, but we make them achievable and we make them intentional.
Awesome.
Number 4, we do leads through our tracking links. So when you have a listing, you got to create links for those guys. I've seen agents put Zillow links out for their own listings. That's not good for you. They're not going to call you. They're going to click the contact agent button, and unless you're a paying agent in that zip, you're going to miss it.
And those ads, you said you were paying what, 50-ish bucks to run them on Facebook?
We'll spend $50. We'll get at least 5 to 7 leads generally each time we run one of those. And it's a very low cost per lead, guys.
Absolutely.
Open houses and signage. Some tech, some basics. It's doing the work and being consistent.
For sure. And so this whole system that you've got, because there's a lot of pieces here. How many of your closings last year do you think this entire system brought you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I had to guess, we probably picked up an extra out of those 195. I'd say we probably equated another 20 to 25 deals just from leveraging our listings, stuff that we never would have had if we wouldn't have had listings and or leverage them.
I mean, that's a big percent. That's a little over 10% of your volume last year.
Yes, listings create so much business, guys, if you utilize it. I'm fortunate enough to have a listing coordinator that helps me with a lot of these things.
Yeah.
You guys can employ a virtual assistant to do a lot of these things for you at a really cheap rate. Or you can do them yourselves if you're in the beginning stages, because you are going to have a higher conversion rate than anybody. So you should be doing some of the work.
Absolutely. And I know you're still kind of new into zBuyer, Patrick. You've been using us for 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, since July.
Yeah. So, and I know we talked about right before we got on your, cost per closing with us and what that looks like. You want to share that?
Yeah, we just ran the numbers yesterday for some of our coaching clients who are asking about zBuyer. Our cost per closing is around $800 per closing. Guys, that's around the same cost as like a pay-per-click lead. And that's a pretty cheap cost per closing. In across the country, the average purchase price may be around what, $250 or $300. So we're talking about an average commission of $7,500 to $9,000 in gross commission income. $800 per closing is not a bad return on investment. Our return on investment for zBuyer leads right now is every dollar we put in zBuyer, we make $6 in return at this time. We want to keep it that way. There's a lot of work that goes into that. You have to work these leads just like you would anybody else. But at the end of the day, our ROI is positive and we're enjoying it.
Absolutely. Especially if you have a system like this in place where, 1 out of every 10 listing or closing with zBuyer is producing additional leads for you. That's turning into another closing.
You're going back for seconds and thirds Absolutely. And fourths and fifths.
Yep. The lead is just where to get started. And then from here, keep chasing it down the rabbit trail and turn it into more leads. Let's see, we've got a couple things. Vito said, I have 4 low offers rejected, all cash.
Yeah.
Saying open houses are great. Tony said, I have a zBuyer listing that went active yesterday, 7 showings scheduled, and I still ran the ad just to get the leads.
Absolutely. For Vito, I would tell you, I would write that lost offers letter to everyone in that neighborhood, excuse me. Say, hey, we have 4 people writing cash offers for this listing and they didn't win. Are you interested in a cash offer? There are some people that would be interested in a cash offer in that neighborhood, I would assume. And now you can provide additional leverage and value to them.
Absolutely. And for everyone here with us, or if you're watching the replay, if you want to get those letters, those things that Patrick showed, there's a link here in Zoom, and then also on Facebook where this replay is, there's a link there. So jump over there, fill that out, and you can grab those templates and start putting these pieces in place. And then if you want to know more, you want to talk to Patrick more, get more set up, get into coaching involved. I know you've got many different ways you can help people. What was that link again?
Meetpk.co, meetpk.co. If you want to take a dive into just trying to get little bit more business this year, if you want to have a discovery call with me just to dive into what we could do to potentially help you grow, expand, and do more production, would love to have that conversation with you.
Absolutely. And then for everyone else here, if you're not with zBuyer yet, but you're curious, you want to know more about it, we've been dropping a link to the website. We've got some deals running right now, but if you jump on that link, there's a request demo button on our website. Get in there, let one of us sit down with you, walk through it. We'll show you what the leads look like in your area. And first, we're going to help you make a decision. Is zBuyer the right fit for you, or is it not? Like Patrick said, these are leads that need to be worked. You need to have a system in place. You need to have some follow-up plans. If you don't have any of that, we're going to direct you to some good resources and tell you to come back whenever the timing is better for you and when you are prepared, because we want to make sure everyone jumping into this has got the setup and opportunities to see results with us.
Absolutely.
Any final questions, anybody? Check Facebook, see if we've got anything over there. Nothing yet. Awesome. Everyone, thank you so much. Patrick, thanks for jumping on here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.